Hi, I'm Vincent, and in this video, I want to make a complete guide on how to find leads using LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So you will see which LinkedIn plan is the best for you, what are the best filters when you want to identify decision makers, and I will show you some filters that you really need to avoid if you want to build a good list of leads. Then how to use the account filters. So it's very useful if you want to target companies that are growing or hiring because it means that they have money. And I will show you how you can target specific industries. And finally, how you can export leads from a LinkedIn Sales Navigator with all the information you need, like the first name, last name, company name, the LinkedIn URL, and even the verified emails of your leads. So you see, we have a lot to cover, so let's start. Alright, so to start this video, let's have a look at the LinkedIn Sales Navigator plans and the prices. So you have LinkedIn Sales Navigator Core, Advanced, and Advanced Plus. And basically, if you're wondering which plan you have to choose, for 99% of you, the core version is enough because with this plan, you have access to the LinkedIn database with all the filters you need to identify decision makers. And Advanced Plus are honestly not very useful and more expensive. So if we check the price, here you see Sales Navigator Core, it's $120 a month. Advanced Plus, 160, so you see it's a lot. And if you want to use Advanced Plus, yeah, it's for enterprises, so yeah, it's expensive basically. So that's why if you want to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I strongly recommend to use the core version. And by the way, you might have a 30-day free trial, so perfect if you want to start using this tool and build your first list of leads. All right, so once you have access to LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you will be redirected to this homepage. And now on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, the two most important pages are lead filters and account filters. So let's check, for example, lead filters. So here on the left, you have all the filters that you can apply for people. So let's say, for example, this one. And here you see on the right that I have people. So on the left, I have all my filters, and on the right, I will have my results. Now let's remove this filter, and now let's move on to the account page. So here on this page, I have filters that I can apply for companies. So let's say, for example, this filter. And here you see on the right that I no longer have people, but I have companies. So this is how LinkedIn Sales Navigator works. All right, so now I want to show you the best filters to use when you want to identify decision makers. So for that, let's go back on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Here I'm on the lead filters, and basically the most commonly used filters are current job title. So here, for example, you can say that you want to target people who are head of sales, like this. And here you see that you have some suggestions from LinkedIn. So head of sales marketing, head of sales operations, and so on. But what I recommend to do to have better results is to put your job title within quotes, like this. And instead of clicking here on include, you press enter on your keyboard. And by doing that, you tell LinkedIn that you want head of sales like this in the job title of your leads. So let's check our results. So you see head of sales here, perfect. Head of sales, 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 and so on. Now, of course, you can add multiple job titles. For example, you can say that you want head of marketing. Within quotes, I press enter. And with this search, I say that I want to target people with a current job title, head of sales or head of marketing. And if I check the results, you see here head of marketing, head of sales, head of marketing, head of marketing, head of marketing, head of sales, head of sales. So basically you see here that we have people who are head of sales or head of marketing. Now the next filter I recommend to use is this one, company headcount. And here basically you can target companies based on their number of employees. So if you want, for example, you can say that you want to target SMBs, so from 11 to 200 people. And here on the right, you have all the people who are head of sales or head of marketing in a company with a headcount between 11 to 200 people. Now, let's say, for example, that you want to target big companies. You can do that by selecting companies with at least 5,000 employees in the companies, like this. And by doing that, you can target big companies. Finally, the last filter I recommend to use is this one, geography. And here it's the geography of the lead and not the company. So here, for example, you can say that you want to target a specific country, for example, United States. So for that, you click on include. But you can narrow down your search and say, for example, that you only want people based in San Francisco. So of course, it depends a lot on who you want to target. And here you see San Francisco, San Francisco, San Francisco. So that's perfect. All right, so now that you know how to use the best filters, I want to show you some filters that you can use to have a higher reply rate when you send a LinkedIn message or a cold email. So let's go back on LinkedIn. The first filter I want to show you is this one, connection. And basically here you have first two connections. So these people are already in your LinkedIn network. So basically you don't need to send a connection request to send a LinkedIn message to these people. So first two connections, and here you see with these filters, so head of sales, head of marketing, founder, and so on, and geography United States, that I have 66 people in my LinkedIn network. So for example, if you post on LinkedIn, these people might already know your first name, last name, your profile picture, and they might have a good idea of what you're doing. So if you target these people, you will get a higher reply rate. Now, the next filter I want to show you is this one, change jobs. And basically, if you toggle this button, here you will have people who recently changed their jobs. And why it's a good filter? It's because when you are new in your company, you are most likely to try a new tool or new services. So that's why it's always a good practice to target these people who recently changed their jobs. So with this filter, you will not only have a higher reply rate, but you will have a higher conversion rate, and that's what we want. And finally, the last filter I recommend to use is this one, posted on LinkedIn. And why it's a good filter? It's because you target people who are active online and active on LinkedIn. So if you want to do some LinkedIn outreach, I strongly recommend you to enable this filter, posted on LinkedIn. And with this filter, you will have a higher reply rate. Now, let's have a look at some filters that I strongly recommend to not use. So you have function and seniority level. So let's check function, and let's say that we want to target people in marketing. So here you see VP growth. Okay, perfect. But here we have intern. So not really marketing. Fractional head of brand. Okay. Chief marketing officer. Okay, that's good. Here we have two good examples. Chief revenue officer. So it's not related to marketing. And here president and founder. So same, it's not marketing. Ah yes, and here we have chief executive officer, CEO, and founder. So you see, these people don't have a function related to marketing. Now let's have a look at seniority level. So let's say director. Ah yeah, so the first one is interesting. Fractional head of brand. So it's not very director. Here we have board of advisors. So same, is it director or not? We don't know. And here we have head of GTM, so go to market. So is it very director? We don't know. And that's why I don't recommend to use this filter, seniority level. And finally, the last filter that I strongly recommend to not use is this one, industry. So it's in the lead filters, and you will see in a few minutes that in the account filters, it works well, but in the lead filters, it's very bad. So let's have an example, and let's say that we want to target the industry marketing services. So let's click on include. And here, basically, this filter industry is applied for the lead, but not for the company. So let's have a look. Here we have Jacqueline, VP Brand Marketing, so industry marketing. But my question is, do you target the industry of the company or the lead? And I'm sure you want to target the industry of the company. So that's why let's check the company here. Yeah, retail. So it's not marketing services. Let's check this one, hospitals and healthcare. It's far from being marketing services. This one, advertising services. Why not? But it's not very marketing services. Here, this company, technology, information, and internet. It's not a marketing services. Then this one, technology, information, and internet. So basically, you see, these people are not working in the company where the industry is marketing services. And that's why I strongly recommend to not use this filter. And don't worry, I will show you in a few minutes how you can target a specific industry for the company. So once you've made your search and you have a list of leads, I'm sure that you want to export them. And now I want to show you how you can export these people into a CSV file with all the information you need. So here you see on the left that I've used 3 filters. So I target people who are head of sales in a company headcount between 200 to 500 people based in Canada. And now if you want to export these people, so unfortunately you can't do that natively with LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and that's why you need to use a third-party tool like GiveMeLeads to have a button like this one, extract leads. So if you want to try GiveMeLeads for free, you just need to click the first link in the description, or you can go on givemeleads.io. Then you can create your free account. And then if you want to have this button on LinkedIn Sales Navigator to export your leads in just one click, you need to install the GiveMeLeads Chrome extension. So for that, very easy, add to Chrome and then add extension. So once you've installed the Chrome extension, you will see this button. And then once you are ready to export these people, all you need to do is to click here on extract leads. Then you will be redirected to your GiveMeLeads account. Here you can give the number of leads you want to export. So let's say 110. Just below, you can say that you want the emails of your leads. So perfect if you want to send a cold email. And finally, you click here on export leads. And now we just need to wait a little bit. All right, so here you see that my export is currently running. I just want to rename it Head of Sales Canada and the company size. And now I just need to wait a little bit. All right, so my export is done. So let's click here on download CSV. So here is my list of leads. And if I scroll, you see that I have 110 leads, which is perfect. Now on top, you have all the information of your leads. So for example, you have the first name, last name, LinkedIn URL. So perfect if you want to send LinkedIn messages. You have the emails of your leads. So same, perfect if you want to send cold emails. You have a job title, location, and actually you have much more information. So for example, here you have the company name, company website. So this one might be useful if you want to personalize your messages using AI, company location, company industry, and so on. So when you export your leads with GiveMeLeads, we do 2 things. So first, we clean the data. So for the first name, last name, and company name, you don't have any problems with capital letters or with the rocket emoji in the first name. So for example, when you are in your favorite outreach tool and you want to say hi first name, so basically you want to use this column here, first name. You don't want to have hi Vincent with a rocket emoji like this, but instead you want a clean data like this. So basically with this feature, you don't need to waste your time to clean the data because we do it for you. Now, the second thing we do is to check if your leads match your filters or not. So that's why on the left, you have 2 columns, matches filters and invalid reason. So when it's true, it means that the lead perfectly matches all your filters. But you will see that if I scroll, some people have false. And here you have the reason. So we have wrong company size, and here wrong job title. And if we check the job title of David, for example, yeah, writing feedback specialist. So basically, David is not head of sales. So with this feature, what you can do is to keep some leads if they are still relevant, or just decide to remove them like this. And by doing that, you make sure that you only have people who match your filters. All right, so now let's have a look at the account filters on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So this time you go here in account, and then you see that we have a lot of filters that we can use. And as I told you here on the right, I will get companies and not people. So you have this filter company headcount, so very useful. Then you have this one, company headcount growth. So this one is very useful because here you can say that you want to target companies that are growing. So for example, let's say that you target SMBs, then company headcount growth, let's say 10%. Click on add. And here on the right, I have companies that are currently growing and why it's a good filter to use. So it's perfect because you know that these companies have money to invest. On top of that, if you want to make sure to target companies that have money, I recommend to use this filter, job opportunities. And here you can say that you only want companies that are currently hiring on LinkedIn. So here, by doing that, you make sure that you target companies that have money. Then the next filter I want to show you is department headcount. And this one is very useful when you want to target a specific department in a company. So here you see that we have a lot of departments, for example, accounting, administrative, we have marketing, sales, and so on. And why it's a good filter to use, it's because, for example, if you sell a sales software, or if you are an agency and you want to target salespeople, you want to target companies with sales in it. So here, for example, I can say that I want to target companies with at least 5 sales in it. So for that, I click on add. And here on the right, I have companies with at least 5 sales in the company. Now you can combine this filter, department headcount, with this one, department headcount growth. And basically here, you can say that the sales department is currently growing by at least 20%. We click on add. And now this time we say that we want 5 sales in the company and the sales department is currently growing. So if you sell a sales software, a sales service, or whatever, you know that these companies on the right might be interested. Finally, the last filter I want to show you is this one, industry. So here, for example, you can say that you want to target companies working in the industry marketing services. So I click on include. And here on the right, I have companies with their industry marketing services. So we see marketing services, and so on. And this is by far the best way to target specific industries. And now that we have a list of companies, what we want to do is to find decision makers in these companies. So if you want to do that, you need to create an account list. So for that, very easy, we click here on select all, then save to list, create new list. And here we say, so marketing services with sales team, create and save. And now we need to add companies in this list. So for that, I go on the page number 2, select all, save to list, and here I click on the list I've just created. So once you've created your account list with companies in it, it's time to find decision makers. And so for that, we go here on lead. And now the first filter you need to use is this one, account list. And now it's this one, marketing services with sales team. And now on the right, I have all the people who are working in the companies in my list, marketing services with sales team. And this time, what's interesting is that these people are currently in the industry marketing services. So if we check here, we have marketing services, marketing services, marketing services, marketing services. So actually, It's perfect. And now the next step is to identify decision makers in these companies. So for that, the best filter to use is this one, current job title. And here, for example, you can say that you want to target CEO, founder, like this. And now you see that we have a bit more than 300 results. Then once you're happy with the search and you want to export these people, it's the same process. You click here on extract leads. Here, let's say that we want 100 leads with emails, export leads. And now I want to rename marketing services with sales team like this. And now we just need to wait a little bit. All right, so the export is done. So let's download the file. So here is my list of 100 leads, perfect. And this time, what's very interesting is to check the industry of the company. So here we have company industry, and this time you see that it's marketing services for every single lead. And actually, by doing that, you make sure that you target the good industry. So this is it for this tutorial. Now, if you want to easily export your leads from LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can try for free GiveMeLeads. And so for that, you just need to click the first link in the description. And now, if you want to start sending cold emails to generate leads for your business, but you don't know where to start, I've made a complete tutorial on how to start sending cold emails. So if you want to check this video, you can click somewhere on the screen. It was Vincent. I wish you a nice day and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.